I cannot breathe. Are you guys seeing what is happening in Fairmont Crest right now? The tornado episodes were absolute cinema, but the aftermath is tearing my soul into a million tiny pieces. The sheer panic, the devastation, the absolute chaos. We all knew the storm was going to leave a path of destruction, but I do not think any of us were prepared for the emotional wreckage that followed. Eva Thomas is fighting for her life. She is lying there in that hospital bed, unconscious, on a ventilator, with internal bleeding and a failing liver. And who is standing right in the middle of this absolute nightmare? Leslie freaking Thomas. I have so many conflicting feelings about this woman right now. And I know you guys do too, so we need to talk about her immediately. Leslie Thomas is losing her mind. And honestly, so am I. Watching her at Garland Memorial Hospital has been one of the most intense experiences I have ever had as a viewer. We are so used to seeing Leslie as this calculated, scheming, petty villain who is always one step ahead trying to ruin Nicole and the Dupree family. But right now, she is completely stripped of all her armor. She is just a terrified, desperate mother watching her child slip away. When she was screaming at Kat in the hospital, I wanted to reach through the screen and shake her, but at the same time, my heart broke for her. She was lashing out because she has absolutely zero control over this situation. She is entirely at the mercy of the universe, and it is terrifying to witness. But let us talk about the absolute queen of grace, Shanice Johnson. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the pure, unadulterated class of this woman? After everything Leslie has done to her, after all the snide remarks and the bitter rivalry over Ted, Shanice actually steps up. Shanice brings Leslie a bag of spare clothes at the hospital. At first, Leslie does what Leslie always does. She gets defensive, accuses Shanice of trying to score cheap points with Ted, and pushes her away. But then it happens. The olive branch. Shanice extends the olive branch, and Leslie actually thanks her. Are you kidding me right now? I had to rewind my TV because I could not believe my ears. Leslie thanking Shanice for the olive branch is a monumental moment for her character. And let us be real, Leslie must see how incredibly lucky she is right now, because this is the second time Shanice has offered her an olive branch. Do you guys remember the first time? Shanice has every right to turn her back on Leslie and let her drown in her own misery, especially while Shanice is still actively grieving the tragic death of Derek Baldwin. But Shanice's grief has clearly changed her perspective on life. She knows that life is too short for petty feuds when someone's life is on the line. I am just so relieved that Leslie finally swallowed her massive pride and accepted the kindness. It shows that underneath all that venom, there is a tiny beating heart in there. And speaking of karma, oh my gosh, you guys, karma is a tornado, baby. Let us talk about the absolute irony of what happened to Leslie's real estate project. Leslie gets the devastating news that her precious house, the massive, obnoxious house she was building right across the street from the Duprees, just to spite them, was completely flattened by the storm. I literally screamed. Mother Nature came through and said, "Not today, Leslie." Vernon and Anita were sitting in their living room, completely safe, talking about how this was Mother Nature's fairness. And I have to agree with them. It is poetic justice. Leslie bought that property with malicious intent. She funded it with spite, and the universe literally blew it away. But here is the thing that really gets me emotional. At this exact moment in time, Leslie does not even care about the house. The old Leslie would be screaming at contractors, suing the city, and throwing an absolute temper tantrum over her ruined property. But right now, the real estate means absolutely nothing to her. The money means nothing. The vendetta means nothing. Leslie only cares about one thing, Eva's health. Her daughter is dying, and all the petty drama has completely evaporated from her mind. It is actually profound to see her priorities shift so drastically. It makes me wonder, will she change her original plan? Will she delay the rebuilding of that house? I am crossing my fingers and praying to the soap opera gods that she does, because Let us talk about the ultimate savior in this situation. Catherine Richardson. Kat is an absolute saint, and I will not hear a single bad word about her. The internal struggle Kat went through this week was so incredibly valid. I was yelling at my screen when Martin and Isaiah were pressuring her and calling her Princess Kat. How dare they? Eva slept with Kat's boyfriend. Eva was involved in 2 murder attempts. Eva has been nothing but a nightmare to Kat. Why on earth should Kat be expected to just casually hand over a piece of her liver to her worst enemy? Kat's hesitation was 100% justified, and I felt so deeply for her when she was crying, feeling like she was just being treated like a spare part for Eva. But then Kat talks to her grandmother, Anita, and guys, this scene absolutely broke me. Anita relating the potential loss of Eva to the tragic death of Barbara. I was sobbing. Anita telling Kat that she simply could not survive losing Eva was the turning point. Kat realizes that she is not just saving Eva. She is saving her father, Ted, and she is saving her grandmother. She is saving her family from unimaginable grief. So Kat makes the ultimate sacrifice. She gets tested, she is a match, and she agrees to the surgery. You're welcome, she tells Eva's unconscious body. Iconic. Kat is putting her own life on the line, undergoing a massive, dangerous surgery for the girl who ruined her life. If that is not heroism, I do not know what is. Now, Leslie is overwhelmingly grateful to Kat. Of course she is. Kat is literally handing Eva a second chance at life on a silver platter. But my brain is spinning with anxiety because we all know how Beyond the Gates works. I am looking at the spoilers for next week, and I am terrified. The spoilers say that doctors frantically rush into Kat's room for a medical emergency. Oh my God. What if Kat crashes? What if Kat suffers severe, life-altering complications from this surgery? This brings up a massive, burning question. What is Leslie going to do to repay the Dupree family if Kat faces severe issues post-surgery? If Kat's health is compromised because she saved Eva, Leslie Thomas owes the Dupree family a debt that she can never ever repay. I swear to you guys, if Kat has complications and Leslie dares to revert back to her evil blaming ways, I will riot. I will literally throw my television out the window. Leslie better spend the rest of her natural-born life kissing the ground that Kat Richardson walks on. Kat is giving up a piece of her own body. The Dupree family is sacrificing their own flesh and blood to save Leslie's daughter. This has to be the end of the war. It has to be. Make it make sense, writers. This brings me to my deepest, most desperate hope for the future of this storyline. I really, truly hope that Leslie feels some genuine remorse after all of this. I want this near-death experience to completely shatter her ego and rebuild her as a better human being. And the first thing she needs to do to prove she has changed, she needs to automatically stop the construction of that house across from the Duprees. The storm knocked it down, and she needs to leave it down for now. Do not immediately send the bulldozers back in. Do not restart the loud, obnoxious construction. Think about Anita Dupree for a second. Anita just finished chemotherapy. She is a breast cancer survivor who is still actively recovering and trying to regain her strength. The absolute last thing that poor woman needs is the deafening sound of jackhammers, drills, and construction crews right outside her front window all day long. Leslie needs to show some basic human decency. I want Leslie to change the original design of the house. I want her to scale it back, make it less intrusive, and most importantly, I want her to halt all the noisy work until Anita is fully recovered. If Leslie truly wants to thank Kat and the Duprees for saving Eva's life, the greatest gift she could give them right now is peace and quiet. Is anyone else like me on this? Am I asking for too much from Leslie Thomas? I feel like I am going crazy hoping for a redemption arc for her, but I just cannot imagine someone going through the trauma of almost losing their child and not coming out the other side a changed person. Leslie has to realize that her petty revenge schemes mean absolutely nothing when you are standing in a hospital watching a heart monitor. Mother Nature gave her a blank slate by destroying that house. Kat gave her a miracle by donating her liver. The universe is literally screaming at Leslie to change her ways. She needs to take this second chance, show some respect to Anita's healing process, and finally let go of the hate. I am an emotional wreck, you guys. The stakes have never been higher. Kat is being wheeled into surgery, Eva is hanging on by a thread, and Leslie's entire world is resting in the hands of the family she tried to destroy. The irony is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. I am going to need a week to recover from these episodes, but we all know I will be glued to my screen on Monday to see if Kat survives this medical emergency. Drop a comment down below and tell me exactly how you are feeling. Do you think Leslie will actually stop the construction for Anita? Do you think she will forever be grateful to Kat, or will she snap back to her old ways if things go wrong? I need to hear all your theories because my mind is completely blown. Until next time, keep the drama on your screens and out of your lives.